A Success at Work Guide. Chapter 1. Good Worker 1. Good worker. The biggest determinants of job success are the ability to show up, likability, trust. If you're a good worker but a loner or otherwise creepy, it doesn't wash in jobs that require people contact. Loners and creeps make good employees in loners' jobs like long-haul truck driver or night security guard. People are guided by emotions. They want a buddy at work. People want a positive person who helps them. The boss likes a brown-noser willing to do things and learn new things to get ahead. Even if you don't like people, while you're at work, pretend you're a good old buddy. Find your motivation. Even though you're working for money, bosses notice the one looking at the clock who waves at the exact second even if there's work to do. Show you care or at least pretend to care. The best way to get ahead at work is make friends with everyone. Do favors. I watched every episode of the TV show American Greed. Some of those guys and gals pulled off their cons by making friends with everyone and getting them to trust them. Be interested in other people. Be interesting and fun while being professional. The more business or related software you know how to use, the better for you in many jobs. If you show anger, you'll never get anywhere. Help others. Networking, connecting with people, is what gets opportunities going your way. Let people know that you're looking to get ahead, make more money. Go to conferences and conventions in your field. Networking is good but don't overdo it to the point of being a nuisance. Success at Work info. Reap what you sow. O good and faithful servant, ye have been faithful over small things, I will make you master over large things. The Bible. Your talent x your networking ability equals your level of success. Figure out how to earn money doing what you love to do. If you don't like what you are doing enough to want to do it in your free time, you are in the wrong job. Figure out what you're good at that other people either aren't good at or don't want to do. Nothing great was ever accomplished without enthusiasm. You have to work really hard at it. You have to be an artist of whatever you do. Constantly learn about your field, money, and business. The market only pays well for extraordinary results, not average products. Save your money. Don't spend it foolishly. If you work a job, work hard and do it well. Bosses know who deserves a raise and promotion. Make yourself indispensable to the company. Develop a reputation for being the hardest worker. Start earlier, work harder, and stay later. If you love your job, work every day. Have a sense of urgency about your work. Don't drink coffee and read the paper first. Work. Don't procrastinate. Opportunities for promotion will come only if you put in the extra time and the extra hours. All the top people anywhere work way more hours than anyone else. Go in early, work through lunch, don't spend much time socializing, stay late. Accept complete responsibility for everything you do. Don't make excuses or blame other people for bad performances. Spend most of your time on the important things. Offer to do some petty things your boss does, like filter his email every morning. Never be satisfied. Always try for progress. Do your job well, then go to your boss and ask for more responsibility, then do whatever he gives you well. Each time you get a new responsibility, you get an opportunity to become more valuable. Do the job quickly. When told to do something, do it now. Have a sense of urgency about work. Work yourself into a position that is critical to the success of the business or organization, like marketing, sales, accounting, finance, production, supply, and delivery. Develop necessary specialized knowledge that nobody else in the company has. Make contacts anywhere you can. People like to do business with and hire people they know. Join your professional association, Chamber of Commerce and local business association and get involved. Be a good business writer and speaker. How can be the best person you have the potential to be? Focus on helping and contributing to the company. The more you work while you are at work, the more the boss will notice you. Get along well with other people. Learn everything you can about your field. Become an expert. Be a team player. Take courses to become great at your job. Help people. They return the favors. Look for ways to be of service to people who can help you. Act trustworthy even if you're a scheming scumbag. Most good leaders started as good followers. There are some successful flukes, but for most people, it's hard work. Be a brown noser without looking like one. Obvious brown nosers are quickly recognized and not taken seriously except when the boss needs a front man to cover for him. The boss knows he's loyal but still knows he's a slippery character because brown nosing is the art of faking sincerity. You have to act quiet and dignified and actually be a good worker. Make your boss look good. If he's a good boss, he'll remember and promote you. If you work hard and the boss doesn't promote you, find another job. Be positive and upbeat. Be friendly but reserved. Help your coworkers. Talk to people in a non-threatening way. When they feel they can trust you, they'll tell you about office politics or secrets. Make friends with the lowest workers. Bring in some cookies or coffee now and then. Don't gossip with the gang. Be their friend but be apart from them. Be willing to do the tough jobs and do them well. Keep a Bible in your desk and wear a cross necklace. Like you're reading it sometimes. Make your screensaver a picture of Jesus. If you get a good idea to make the workplace more efficient, write it out or tell your boss directly. Don't promote yourself in an obvious way. Don't put down other employees or flaunt your success in their face. Be a great worker. 1. Show up ready to work. Start the work. Stay focused on it. Take every job as if it might be the one you'll have for the rest of your life. If you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. If you're the best at what you do but go in the corner to be by yourself, eat garlic for lunch, watch porno on the internet and subtly play with yourself, hardly ever wash, look like a nerd, act arrogant and think you're the stud cock of the walk, they might keep you for a while but they will get tired of you, realize you're not that special and get rid of you because you're not good for the place as a whole. Arrogant individuals who do their own things are generally not liked by bosses because they can't be controlled and could be a disruptive force to everybody. Time and time again when I read those books about corporations at number 338 at the library, I see CEOs and bosses say technical skills count for maybe 40% of your ability to keep a job and move up in the organization, but the most important thing is really the traditional soft skills of being able to relate to your boss, get along with people, work as a team, go to work with good grooming habits, don't smell, don't fart too much around other people, don't be crude, arrive most days, arrive on time. Be pleasant, act like part of the mainstream in gang at work, in essence, people skills. The golden rule is to work hard, don't talk too much and don't gossip about anybody. Regardless of the job, simply think of yourself as the action person. It's all about knowledge, energy, and momentum, kind of like you exude a sense of destiny about yourself. When you first get the job, be cool. Don't come on like a storm right away. Learn the politics of the place first. You don't want everybody alienating you because you make them look bad. Make friends first, then start working hard. The best way to be a great worker without being a brown noser is to get on it, do the work, do it hard, get rid of your extra energy on the job and don't blabber too much. Many people on the job use the psychology of minimal effort. When I used to work factory-type jobs during my youth, I had lots of energy, I enjoyed exercise, so I was the opposite of most of the other guys there, doing my job and picking up their slack. They didn't care if I made them look bad or anything like that because they all saw their jobs as dead end anyway. Transform your inner potential into real production. Be a leader, show some charisma. Bosses often give new employees simple tasks to test them to see how they do. Take all tasks seriously. Include your own innovations and offer your ideas to your boss. Take initiative with a good idea. Always network on the job. Meet new people, Talk to everybody. Be friends with everybody. Help people. Be an opportunist. If you see a door open, get your foot into it. Be a good follower, team player, and leader when the situation demands it. Learn about your company. Pay attention to politics, who has got the real power, who hates who, etc., and use it all to your advantage, but don't gossip. All gossipers will eventually talk about everybody behind their backs, even the people they gossip with. Try to get in good with one of your superiors. Act like he's your mentor teaching you the ropes. Be a good student. Be a good communicator. Speak sparingly at the right times only. If you talk too much about nothing in particular, people stop listening after a while. Find the winners in your company and copy them. Come in on Monday morning with a smile on your face, ready to go. Always go beyond your own point of view to see the world from the perspectives of your peers and bosses. Analyze them to see what makes them tick. Good relations with your coworkers and your superiors will not only help you but will make work more enjoyable. Every employee wants to be liked by other employees. If you treat people the way they want to be treated, they will like you. When you move up in the company, you will need all the support you can get. Praise people. Everybody enjoys being praised. People look for approval from others, but you should praise people only when they deserve it. If you praise people when they don't deserve it, or, if you praise too much, you lose your credibility. Don't exaggerate your praise. Make the praise as warm and sincere as you can. Don't put people down. Putting down a person can be very damaging to you and the other person's relationship with you. People don't want to feel degraded by being called stupid, crazy, weird, etc. Don't put down anyone even if they are not present. If you do, the word will get back to them and you will look bad. Always talk positively about people. Even if you don't like them, still speak highly of them. You will be amazed at what this does. If you can't say anything good about someone, don't say anything at all. Don't be concerned with your interests only. There is nothing wrong with caring and looking out for yourself. Just don't make it that noticeable to other people. You will be resented by others if you seem selfish. Make sure others know you look out for them as well yourself. Share the credit. When others have helped you accomplish something, share the credit with them. Even if their contribution was not as great as yours, still share the credit with them. They will return the favor at some point in time. Don't ask others to do for you what you won't do for them. If you are unwilling to go out of your way for people, don't expect them to go out of their way for you. Set the first example. If you help them, they will help you. Don't show others up. When you show up others, you do it at their expense. Showing up people in front of others takes away their self-respect. If you are better than others, they will know it. You don't have to degrade them. Treat small things with importance. Some things that seem small to you mean a great deal to others. Don't ignore small problems, help people solve them. Treating small problems with importance shows other people you care. Care about people, or at least act like you do. Everybody is concerned about themselves, and it is important for them to have someone care for them, or at least to have that illusion. They are touched when you care about them or pretend to. Helping people cope with life makes people feel that you care about them. Don't criticize a person in front of others. If you criticize someone in front of others, he or she will always resent you. It is one of the most degrading things you can do. If you criticize someone, criticize him constructively and privately. All people want to feel important. To make a person feel important, you must give him your undivided attention when communicating with him. Get rid of all interruptions. Make sure you have good eye contact and that you are not doing other things while talking, like reading or writing. Everyone appreciates people who are courteous, tactful, polite, and diplomatic. The best way to learn these qualities is from others. Study someone you want to be like and learn from him or her. If you don't have confidence in yourself, others will not have confidence in you. People respect confident people. If you show others ambivalence and insecurity, that's how they will treat you. Be sure of yourself, and even if you're scared, don't let it show. Books about job satisfaction are at hashtag 650.14 or HF50 to HF549.5 at the library. SOCYBirdie.com/work/how-to-be-a-great-factory-worker. Be a great worker too. He that is slothful in his work is brother to him that is a great waster. Proverbs 18:9. I've seen literally hundreds of books on how to succeed in business and at work at number 331, number 338 and number 650 at the library. They all give you the usual spiel about how to be effective, patterned after Stephen Covey's Habits of Highly Effective People, and how to set goals and be disciplined about them, which is the crux of virtually every self-help book written in the past half-century, but I laugh at all of them because they all fail. In essence, all these so-called experts are clones following each other. It's like the blind leading the blind. I saw one of these guys on TV the other day with 5 steps on how to set goals and achieve them, but he forget one and messed up the order for the others. So much for psycho-bamboozle. If you want to be a great worker, it's simple. Go back to simple core values. Love what you do. Try hard at it because that's your job. You aim to please. Don't talk too much or too wise. Keep your nose to the grindstone and do good quality work. Your parents taught you good basic values as a kid. Stick to them now in the workforce. It doesn't hurt to read the Bible either. Act like Jesus would. The mentality of our society is that once you get a job, you're against management. Your mentality is supposed to be to get away with the least work you can, but I never went for this even when some guys on an assembly line told me to stop working so hard because I would make them look bad. If I'm there to work, I'm there to burn off energy, and that's what I do. That's why I'm a great worker, because when I go to work, I go there to work. The work itself doesn't have to inspire me in my soul, but I pretend it does and make an honest effort of it. It's all basic. Give good effort. Approach work with a spiritual, intuitive flow. Be more simple and basic than effective, anal, and nitpicky. Have a career plan. Discover your strengths and weaknesses. Work on them. Be energetic. Make your deadlines. Get to work and appointments on time. Listen when elders speak. Look professional, talk professional. Keep learning. Keep your ethics. Don't sell out. Have backup plans for when things go wrong. Be loyal to the company/boss. Here's a good poem from Rudyard Kipling, which he wrote to his son, which won the Nobel Prize in 1907. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. If you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make your dreams your master. If you can think and not make thoughts your aim. If you can meet triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same. If you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools. Or watch the things you gave your life to, broken, and stoop and build them up with worn-out tools. If you can make one heap of all your winnings, and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings, and never breathe a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they're gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can walk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch. If neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you. If all men count with you but none too much. If you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run. Yours is the earth and everything that's in it. And which is more, you will be a man, my son. Be a great worker. 3. Being a great worker depends partially on the type of job you do and partially on where you are in the food chain, boss or worker, but even with these differences, there are certain commonalities to being a great worker regardless of position or job. When I was a psychology teacher, I gathered together a class of students and asked them what were their issues and ideas about the things that most of us will spend oodles of time on in our lives, work. The following is a list of one-liners I gathered from several classes over a space of several years. Focus on work. It's cool to be a slacker and get one over on the boss, as some comic strips convey, but this is wrong. There's integrity and dignity to simple hard work. Don't play games. Be real with people. Treat them all with equal respect. Even if you're a loner, at work you have to get along with people and be a team player at times. Do the big jobs first, the little ones later. Don't do everything yourself. Delegate. Get help. Know yourself. You intuitively know what you have to do by virtue of being a thinking human being. Do it. Don't doubt yourself. The key is to love your work, but even if you do, you can be a victim of overwork and your health and well-being can deteriorate. When I was a kid, I had a teacher who taught us MYOB, mind your own business. Focus on your own work. Don't poke your nose in other people's work and don't gossip about them. Assuming you're somewhat ambitious, which you should be true to your ambition. Work hard with intelligence because that's how you get what you want. Don't try to be a perfectionist. Pretty good is good enough. The extra effort required for perfection is probably detrimental to your health. Don't be too serious or try to do everything. It will drain you. Zap your email list sometimes. If it's that important, they will send another one. You can't control everybody or everything, but try to control yourself. Be relaxed and calm at work no matter what. Some stress is good, stress to the point where it invigorates you to perform, but anything beyond that is detrimental. Don't take work so hard that it cuts into your health and well-being. If you're in a toxic workplace, quit if you have to in order to keep your peace of mind. You must love what you do. If you don't, either pretend to and stop complaining or get into another line of work. Have some kind of balance. Even if you love your work, chances are you have other loves like a spouse, kids, religion, a hobby, etc. Spend time on them too. 50% is just showing up on time day after day and giving functional effort. Be a team player regardless of whether you're worker or boss. If you're a boss, have some boss-like standards about yourself, but don't be arrogant. Have a sense of passion about your work. Help people become what they are capable of becoming. Strive to reach your potential as a good, strong, tough human being. Teamwork breeds confidence. Great managers manage themselves. Your focus is to serve your fellow man. If there's work to be done, don't waste time with talkers. Get to the point and say you got work to do. The same goes for meetings. Act like you really care even if you don't. Do your work with passion. Build relationships with people in your field. Build trust over time. Think big, great ideas. Under-promise and over-deliver on what you do. The best way to be good at what you do is for you to love it as part of your true nature. Learn from people by watching them, talking to them, and even reading good business books. Be happy with your work for the sense fulfillment it gives you. Set high standards, not perfectionist standards but a real good standard. Beyond 90%, the next 10% of quality may not be worth the added effort. Be stable. Don't be moody. Never blow up on somebody. Calm down when you're angry. You have to network around to meet people who can help you. Help people help themselves. Read both my business and my jobs books cover to cover. Every night, plan the next day mentally in your head. Have long-term ideas and visions. Prepare for unexpected problems. Face them in a calm manner. Admit you're human and can't do everything. Constantly analyze your life. Try to find people with similar attitudes to succeed to befriend and talk to. Preferably find an older person willing to mentor you. Whatever you do, make sure it is something useful that people get a decent benefit from. Be likable. When you feel weak or have a setback, have a rest and a cry, then get back to work. Do not accept failure. All failures are learning experiences. Sometimes offer freebies like a free product or free time in helping someone. Always learn new things in your field. Be an innovator. Create ideas. You have to be in sales and sell yourself. Be a team player. When people you barely know offer gifts, it means they want something from you. Write out all your professional career/business ideas on a publicly available blog. Set the tone for work, not for socializing. If you're a boss, pick good people to work for you and take up some of your slack. Culture the ability to discover talent in others and use it. Trust your intuition. People want order and community as opposed to chaos. Stay disciplined about your business. Be nice to people. Be peaceful as opposed to stressed. Be patient, honest and understanding. Never talk too much about your personal life, especially unsolicited talk. Don't engage in meaningless gossip. Treat everybody equally respectful. If you play favorites, your non-favorites could come back to haunt you. You don't have to be scheming in the Machiavellian sense, but be smart enough to culture friends and hold your enemies even closer. Be a team player, but look out for yourself. Take courses that will help you on the job or get promoted. You become what you do and think. Prepare every night for next day's work. You have to be ambitious in a way that doesn't look like you're a one-dimensional, cutthroat ambitious person. Be subtle and quiet about it. You have to look professional or appropriate. Wear the right clothes. Be clean and neat. Overweight people are rarely super successful. People with interesting and balanced are well liked and get further ahead in work than others. Have a calm demeanor. Make your bosses like you by doing good work. Sometimes it's better to lose than to win a fight and alienate everybody. Be low-key easygoing. When someone else's ass is on the line, chances are they will betray you to save their ass. Have a good command of the English language, but don't use big words. Talk as you would talk to your mother or friend. Your written language either brands you an educated person or a less than educated person. Don't be an obvious suckhole. Give subtle compliments like smiling, laughing lightly, spending time in the company of your targets. Job performance is attitude and the ability to do the job quickly and efficiently with enthusiasm. If you want to be promoted, study your purse and try to achieve each of the factors in a superior manner. Act in the best interests of the company even though you're out for yourself. Every single day, plan what you will do and your comportment. Every act of anger and aggression creates equal animosity. Respect everybody. Try to like everybody. Be disciplined about your work. Try not alienate bad bosses. Try not to alienate workers. Fire the bad ones quickly. It's all about respect, being calm and not gabbing too much. Socialize with workers and bosses after work. It gives you brownie points. Be willing to change when the company dynamics change. Chapter 2. Good Worker 2. Willingness to work at work. Walt Disney said, "First find something you like to do so much you'd gladly do it for nothing, then learn to do it so well people are happy to pay you for it." The major preoccupation in most people's lives is their work, fantasies of better work opportunities and how to earn a living, but when it comes right down to it, very few people are engaged in the work they do, that is, are spirited about it. Most people go to work then put their mind in neutral or think about other things as they do it. Very few people love their jobs or get some inspiration out of it, which is a good thing in a way, because if we had a society where everybody wanted to be inspired about their work, we'd have a bunch of artists, writers, pop musicians, and wannabe professional athletes and nobody left to produce the goods or clean the streets. I'm not saying everybody should strive for work that inspires them. Just the few smart ones like whoever is reading this to try to get something more out of their work than the average dreg who's happy with any generic job as long as it pays the bills and buys him his beer or her makeup, so that's the bottom line. If you want to get the most out of your life, look for work that you really enjoy doing, that keeps you inspired about your life. As a sidebar, this is the only way to really be successful at work, to do what you enjoy. You can be successful by setting some goals, following them religiously in a one-dimensional stilted manner, be a brown-noser, a yes man, a conformist, etc. But nothing comes close to tapping into the inspired flow within yourself when you find something you love to do. I can never stress it enough that the key to both happiness and success is to love what you do to earn your cash. The American dream, the quest for material success and the quest to get rich are worthy goals in and of themselves, but they aren't the be-all, end-all to life. The only way to enjoy your work is to simply do a job that you really like. As I already said earlier, there are countless people out there who started out pursuing their dreams via college education in a certain field only to find that they hated the work, so they switched in midstream, and now some are probably happier while some have regrets. Everybody hates change because it adds stress to your comfort zone, but if you hate your job, you gotta seriously consider getting the guts to make a change to do something you like. It's that simple. It will be scary, but it's your life and this is your only shot. Don't waste it doing something you don't like. Take the plunge, make that change. You have to be honest with yourself, analyze yourself, then take action. All you have is finite time. It's more important than money. Think of how you want to spend the rest of the time in your life. Workaholic/workaholism. My work is my worth. Workaholism is positive for some people because you perceive yourself as an artist of work. You love it so much that there's nothing else you'd rather do with your life, but the picture is not so clear and rosy. They say workaholism often hides other problems like wanting to escape home life, alcoholism. If you're single, you don't want to go home and be lonely, a distraction to cover up some problem you have, etc. Personally, I'm a workaholic for what I love to do because it keeps me inspired about my life. Day by day, my life is about releasing a certain amount of my natural energy to meet my own personal standard in life. This is generally a monumental amount of work, only to me it's not work. It's kind of like my fountain of youth. It keeps me young. There's almost nothing else I'd rather do. I don't want to go to Disneyland. I think most TV and movies suck. Frivolous pursuits like golf and video games bore me. I love what I do and I intuitively know it keeps me young, so I only think it's workaholism if it stresses you out, and there are plenty of counseling services opening up to treat workplace stress. Some workaholics burn out physically via heart attacks, brain hemorrhages, ulcers, etc. Other burn out mentally via depression, stress, and suicide. You need balance in your life. Remember the old cliché about not wishing you had spent more time at the office on your deathbed. Free time to do what you really want to do is the goal of life. Find something you really love to do that can earn you your cash. Lower your standard of living if it means more free time. You don't need much to live a great life. Workaholic websites. ahealthyme.com/topic/workaholism. allaboutLifeChallenges.org/workaholic.htm. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/workaholic. men.webmd.com. selfhelpmagazine.com/article/wf/work.html. workaholic.org. Workaholics Anonymous. workaholics-anonymous.org. Balance at work. The things important in my life are a sense of inspiration, personal control, peace of mind, and freedom to do what I want, to live my life my way, on my own terms. I'm lucky in a way because I'm not bound by materialism for its own sake beyond taking care of my basic needs, nor the need for power over others or blind ambition. I know I'm different from a lot of people out there who work their butts off all day long, talk on their cellular phones in their cars all the time, probably make a good living, are stressed out, tired out and have addictions like food, booze, and cigarettes. These people, in my opinion, are lost because they've made money, power, and/or ambition their gods at the expense of everything else, even wife and family. They're running a race with themselves that will eventually lead them to either nowhere or an early death. The only way to say it is that you gotta compromise, and the way to do it is to become more efficient. Instead of working 12 hours a day, cut it back to 9 hours and get more work done during that time. Make it a point to knock off at 5 o'clock every day regardless of what you're doing. Rome wasn't built in a day. You should strive for a ritual like take the wife and dog out for a walk every day when you get home from work, have some romance with her, play with your kids, join a choir, take piano lessons, work out, or do something like that will get you out of the work headspace. Take a sailing course, play golf, or something like that. Get balance in your life. You know the old cliche, nobody on their deathbed is ever gonna wish they had spent more time at the office. One way to get more out of life is to simply simplify it. Get rid of the cellular phone and the pager, or at least shut them off at 5 o'clock. Every night, reflect on your life a bit and plan the next day. Ask yourself if you love your job or hate it. If you hate it, get the guts to quit and move on. Instead of mass media all the time, spend time in complete silence in your own thoughts. Cut out some TV, magazine subscriptions, business shows on TV, etc. Don't spend money foolishly. Save wisely. Get a pet for peace of mind's sake. If you don't want to go out drinking with your co-workers or playing golf with the boss, just say your family needs you at home. Get rid of your materialistic mindset. If you work with jerks on your job, it's not a healthy environment and you must either talk to them about it or get away from them. Try to be a team player, but if the people you work with are serious assholes, it might be better to get out for your peace of mind. Don't set yourself up for disappointment by setting excessively high expectations then not reaching them. Be thankful and happy for what you achieve and for what you get out of it. Don't dwell on near misses like how you could have gotten the big promotion. You shouldn't just be a sheep at work, do the job for the paycheck and follow the herd. You should have a vision for yourself on the job, see yourself as a person with destiny going somewhere with it. Great worker one-liners. You don't have to wait until the boss shoves a pole up your ass to do great work. People who do great work without being ordered to are the most successful. Be responsible for your work. Focus on what has to be done without waiting for someone to hit you in the butt with a stern order. Make things happen. Be an action person. Take charge when the situation warrants it. Listening to orders is not enough. You have to take independent, assertive action in order to make it. Unleash your potential and fulfill it. Live as though you have something important to contribute to society. Focus on your work. Let the others gossip, play politics, and flirt with each other. Do your job well. The boss will notice in due time. Take personal responsibility for your work life, focusing on what you can do to improve things. Look for ways to master your job and improve career options. Be more effective in your everyday work. Don't be a busybody, a gossip, or a know-it-all giving unsolicited advice. Just focus on your job. Your strengths drive your success, so focus on maximizing them. Live by your word. Do what you say you will do. Be an active doer. Focus on what you want and do it. Mistakes are part of the process. Don't dwell on mistakes. Keep moving. Leadership is making decisions and making them happen. A lot of people can't make a decision. They want someone else to do it. Successful people solve problems. They don't just break down. Strive to learn something from everyone. Listen well when you disagree. Their point might be valid or better than your ideas. A big ego alienates everyone. Hardships help us to strengthen our character and make us a better person. Help more. Judge less. Every person who has achieved great success has had a strong commitment to make it happen. Believe in yourself. It is not ego but a belief that you can do whatever it takes to succeed. Learn the job then as you get to know what's going on, suggest changes and improvements. Do some of them on your own. Realize that people might not always be receptive to your ideas, so if they reject an idea, save it for another time when the opportunity is right. Do what needs to be done. Don't just do what you're told and nothing more. Take initiative. Ask questions when you don't understand something. Do the dirty work. Come in early. Stay late. Be a friend. Make friends with everybody if possible. Project the attitude that you're serious about your work. Be willing to work overtime and on holidays. Don't take days off. When you're a slacker, you hurt your chances for future promotions. Level of energy is the main determinant of success. Make suggestions about how your department and the company can be improved. Don't be a winner, radical, or sourpuss. Even though you're serious about your work, be nice to people and make as many allies as you can. Don't come off arrogant or know-it-all. Sometimes, it's better to keep quiet or not be right to preserve allies and peace rather than fight for justice or that you're right in some trivial thing. Don't burn bridges. Don't take pot shots at someone currently down. They might have power over you someday. Don't gossip. Try for cooperation rather than competition. Be a team player rather than the selfish, miserly bastard or the brown-noser who sides with management over his peers. Success is to make the most of who you are with what you have wherever you might be. You can be successful in jail by using the time to the best of your ability. Your success or lack of it is directly determined by how much pleasure you get out of your work. When you help others be successful and happy, you will be successful and happy. Do more than is expected of you. Finish jobs, do not leave them hanging in limbo. Work is business. Don't be a gossip, clown, or goof off. Volunteer for the tough jobs, then do them well. Be creative. Generate ideas. Use problems as challenges to make things better. Be tenacious. When you meet resistance, don't degenerate into a low-level fighter. Step back, reevaluate and quietly do good work until another opportunity presents itself. Don't brown nose. Show your ambition through your work. Learn to enjoy the tough jobs that others don't like. A winner does his best and doesn't concern himself with whether others are competing with him. Find work you enjoy and love the process. Don't do a dull job you hate just for the money. Don't blame others for things that go wrong. Don't be afraid of being fired or making mistakes. Be true to yourself. The credit belongs to the one who makes the effort even if he comes up short. There is politics in work. Don't overstep your boundaries or anger the wrong people, but still be brave enough to take initiative. Know who you are. Your career must be your calling, not a job done just for the money. There's no ending for inspired action. You do it for life. Never be satisfied. Always try to do better and keep getting better. A positive attitude is the key to happiness at work. Mistakes are good. You learn from them and they define your borders. Don't be obsessed with your fears. Imagine the worst case scenario, probably a bit of embarrassment, then go ahead and do it. Trust people until they prove themselves otherwise. Act like you care about people or at least are mildly interested in them even if you could care less. Be a positive force to the people around you. Enjoy your life and pass it on. Love life or at least act like you do. If you're not having fun, do something else. Wherever you work, do it as though you're working for yourself. Be a team player and partner. Be smart about your work. Fix your mistakes so they don't drag you down later. Do things right the first time. Work on the most important things, don't waste time with the trivial things. Be flexible. Play it cool when you start until you know the system. Learn what you can on the job. Don't come on so strong at the beginning that you've got no encore. Don't try to change the system. Tailor yourself to fit it. Don't take criticism personally. It's the boss's job. Your most important job is to develop a rapport with your bosses. Be a low-maintenance happy employee. Don't stick out as a troublemaker. Don't get caught up in work at the expense of leisure. Be clean whenever you go to work. Follow the dress code. Try to be pleasant with good energy. Don't dress sexy or act sexy. Be loyal to the company. Avoid difficult people as much as you can. Don't be late for work. Don't talk too much. Don't say anything you wouldn't want the boss to hear. When push comes to shove, everybody will betray you, and what you said or did in confidence before will come back to haunt you. Use tact but be straight. Don't get behind in workload. Work smart, not hard. Don't leave your desk/office/work area messy. Use ergonomics to set up a comfortable work area. Don't give excuses. Don't panic in a tough situation. If you're ambitious, let them know by your actions and dialogue. Don't alienate different demographic workers like older, blacks, etc. Smart worker one-liners. When I sit down to work, the question is what is right, what is good, what is for the public good. Don't work for a boss that can't give you the kind of money and position you want. Find a job where there's upward mobility. Be ambitious. Focus on making yourself indispensable to your boss. Do your job well. Get in early, not late. Never refuse a request from your boss to do extra work. Be good at what you do. You will be a little nervous, apprehensive, and a little intimidated by a new job. Be friendly and polite. Ask questions if you do not understand what you're supposed to do. Do not try to be an overachiever right away because your fellow employees will not like you for making them look bad. Don't get sucked into gossip. When somebody gossips to me, I just nod. I might chuckle but I never add anything to it. Do an honorable job at whatever you do. When the boss sees you do small jobs well, he promotes you. Follow the chain of command. pongresume.com. Be honest with everyone. If you make a mistake and get caught, own up to it. I've screwed up, lied about it and got away with it, so for me sometimes it's better to lie. Don't bring your personal and family problems to work. Don't be a sad sack. If you make them money, they'll reward you. All success originates in the ability to sell yourself and sell products. Upgrade your skills. Take continuing education classes. Don't be a hipster, slickster, or brown-noser. Work hard. Impress other people. Get to know other people all over the company. Think about job situations. Anticipate what you'll do. Don't try to outshine your boss to the bigger boss. Work on helping him get promoted, then he'll promote you. Work one-liners. Don't let a casual workplace let you cross the line into disrespect. Some bosses like to be liked Mr. or Sir. Call your boss that unless he tells you otherwise. People have authority by virtue of their position. If you joke around, you undermine that authority. Don't think of yourself as your boss's workplace equal. If your boss is your friend and you undermine his authority in front of others like disobeying an order, you're toast. Nobody in their right mind will take it. He should fire you. If you just do the bare minimum, it will show and you'll be first on the layoff list. You're not likely to get promoted or a raise unless you give of yourself with effort. Some unionized workers think they don't have to do anything outside their job description. You're there to be a team player for the company and help out wherever needed. Everything you do on your computer is allowed to be monitored and could be without your knowledge. Follow the chain of command. If you go above your direct boss, he'll never forgive you for not going to him first. Only go above your boss if it's a serious issue and your boss can't be trusted. At some places, one particular guy might come in late but stay for a while at the end of the shift. If you plan to do this, make it formal. Tell the boss you want to change your work time if possible. If you have nothing good to say about someone, say nothing. It always comes back to haunt you. That's how gossip works. Everybody tells everybody else what you said. You never know who's listening anyway. People don't like gossips because they're miserable and they know they talk about them when they're not around. One time we had a guy who flaunted his so-called friendship with the big cheese. Onate, one of the boys, grabbed him by the neck, threw him on some boxes and told him to go tell his buddy, the big boss. He never brought it up again. Love your business, enjoy your work, do it well with gusto, serve your customers and the money will come. Make work your play. Find what your customer wants and give it to him in a manner which nets you a clear profit, then multiply it by finding as many customers as you can any way you can while keeping expenses down. It's the same with work. If an occupation or company doesn't pay big bucks, move on to ones that do. Be at peace with yourself. Help people get what they want out of life. The highest value you get out of your work is not really the money but what you become by it. Help me make the most of freedom and of pleasure. Nothing ever lasts forever. Everybody wants to rule the world. Tears for Fears, song. Everybody wants to rule the world. Earn your keep by mastering a soulful pursuit to a worthy level for someone to get some use out of it. The only loyalty is to you. If you get a better offer, don't be afraid of hurting your boss's feelings. If you don't get the promotion you wanted, you either keep your mouth shut and work hard or quit. Better yet, keep the job while you look for another one. If you felt you did good at the interview but didn't get a call back within 2 weeks, forget it, move on. Don't expect a great job right out of college. Take anything, then prove yourself like everybody else does. If you screw up, you're just human. It takes time to learn and gain experience about life. Don't tie your self-worth to anything in the outside world. Tie it to the intuitive standard inside. I've seen so many people destroy themselves trying to reach dreams they borrowed from the outside world that had nothing to do with who they are in their souls. If you hate your boss, try to be nice to him and use him as a learning experience. If he's still bad, quit. Don't be a cutthroat. It will come back to haunt you. Have patience. Work hard. Stay humble. Winners believe in themselves and work hard. A career is not like a ladder that you go up. That's society's definition. A career is doing things you're constantly proud of without any regard for that illusory ladder. You're never too old to do anything you want, including going back to school to start a new career. Handle the life that comes your way. Don't be overly soppy, overly sentimental, or too confrontational. Let things ride. Nothing is that deep. Don't be trivial. If you try to be a perfectionist, you will find yourself alone with your silly high standards. Don't be a crap disturber. Don't protest trivial things. Meet fate with an attitude of acceptance rather than running around like a chicken with its head cut off. Cultivate allies wherever you can. If you hate the job, quit. Relax. Without peace you don't have anything. If you feel down, get some sleep. Chapter 3. The big idea is win-win, everybody wins. Ambition, business, and work in the Bible. The Bible basically says that work and business are good if you do it for the glory of God, but if you do it for selfishness and egotistical ambition, it's wrong. Ambitious people are praised on the one hand because they achieve things, but if their attitudes are arrogant and haughty, they always end up hurting other people, thinking they're superior, acting elitist. Idolatry of one's own ego is the worship of a false god. Let nothing be done through ambition or vain conceit, but in humility let each esteem others better than themselves. Philippians 2:3. The way of man is perverse and strange, but as for the pure, his work is right. Proverbs 21:8. Trust in the Lord and do good, so shall you dwell in the land and truly you shall be fed. Psalms 37:3. There is nothing better for a man, than that he should eat and drink and that he should make his soul enjoy good in his labor. This also, I saw, was from the hand of God. Ecclesiastes 2:24. What does man gain from all his labor, from all his anxious striving and toiling under the sun. For all his days are sorrowful and his work brings grief, yes, his heart takes not rest in the night. This is also futility. Ecclesiastes 2:22-23. In all labor there is profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty. Proverbs 14:23. He that tills his land shall be satisfied with bread, but he who chases worthless pursuits is void of understanding. Proverbs 12:11. The hand of the diligent shall rule, but the lazy will be forced into slave labor. Proverbs 12:24. The slothful man does not roast what he took in hunting, but the diligent man gains precious wealth. Proverbs 12:27. The Father, who without favoritism judges according to every man's work. 1 Peter 1:17. And the Lord God took the man and put him into the Garden of Eden to work it and to tend it. Genesis 2:15. In the sweat of your face shall you eat bread, till you return to the ground, for out of it were you taken, for dust you are and to dust shall you return. Genesis 3:19. Remember the Sabbath day, to keep it holy. 6 days shall you labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord your God. In it you shall not do any work, you, nor your son, nor your daughter, your manservant, nor your maidservant, nor your cattle, nor the stranger that is within your gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day, therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and made it holy. Exodus 20:8-11. If a man think himself to be something, when he is nothing, he deceives himself. But let every man test his own work, and then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone and not in another. For every man shall bear his own burden. Galatians 6:3-5. I considered that all labor and every skill come from man's envy of his neighbor. This is also meaningless, a chasing after the wind. Ecclesiastes 4:4. Come to me, all you that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and you shall find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Matthew 11:28-30. What is a man profited, if he gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? Matthew 16:26. Let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap, if we do not give up. Galatians 6:9. Better is a handful with quietness than both the hands full with toil and a chasing after the wind. Ecclesiastes 4:6. What is a man profited, if he gain the whole world and lose his soul? Matthew 16:26. This one thing I do, forgetting what lies behind and reaching forth to those things which are before, I press toward the mark for the prize of the high calling of God in Christ Jesus. Philippians 3:13-14. You shall not defraud your neighbor, nor rob him. The wages of him that you hired shall not stay with you all night until the morning. Leviticus 19:13. You shall not oppress a hired servant who is poor and needy, whether he is of your brethren or of your strangers that are in your land. At day's end you shall pay him his wages, neither shall the sun go down upon it, for he is poor and is counting on it, lest he cry against you to the Lord and it be sin to you. Deuteronomy 24:14-15. By much slothfulness the building decays, and through idleness of the hands, the house falls through. Ecclesiastes 10:18. My beloved brethren, be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, since you know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord. 1 Corinthians 15:5-8. Go to the ant, you sluggard, consider her ways and be wise. How long will you sleep, O sluggard? When will you arise out of your sleep? Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep, so shall your poverty come on you like a bandit and scarcity like an armed man. Proverbs 6:6, 9-11. As vinegar to the teeth and as smoke to the eyes, so is the sluggard, lazy person, to those who send him. Proverbs 10:26. The slothful man does not roast his game, but the diligent man obtains good things. Proverbs 12:27. The soul of the sluggard desires and has nothing, but the soul of the diligent shall be made prosperous. Proverbs 13:4. The way of the slothful man is overgrown with thorns, but the way of the righteous is made level. Proverbs 15:19. He that is slothful in his work is brother to him that is a great waster. Proverbs 18:9. Slothfulness brings on deep sleep and an idle soul shall suffer hunger. Proverbs 19:15. The craving of the slothful will be the death of him, for his hands refuse to labor. Proverbs 21:25. The lazy man will not plow by reason of the cold, at harvest time he shall beg and have nothing. Proverbs 20:4. The thoughts of the diligent lead to abundance, but everyone who is hasty is led to poverty. Proverbs 21:5. The drunkard and the glutton shall come to poverty and drowsiness shall clothe a man with rags. Proverbs 23:2. He that tills his land shall be satisfied with bread, but he who chases worthless pursuits is void of understanding. Proverbs 12:11. The hand of the diligent shall rule, but the lazy will be forced into slave labor. Proverbs 12:24. The slothful man does not roast what he took in hunting, but the diligent man gains precious wealth. Proverbs 12:27. In all labor there is profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty. Proverbs 14:23. The thoughts of the diligent lead only to prosperity, but those of the hasty lead only to want. Proverbs 21:5. Do you see a man diligent in his business? He shall stand before kings. Proverbs 22:29. He that tills his land shall have plenty to eat, but he who follows after foolish fantasies shall have poverty. Proverbs 28:19. I looked on all the works that my hands had made and on the labor that I had labored to do, and, behold, all was meaningless, a chasing after the wind and there was no profit under the sun. Ecclesiastes 2:11. Behold what I have seen, it is good and fitting for one to eat and to drink and to enjoy the good of all his labor that he does under the sun all the days of his life, which God gives him, for this is his lot, this is the gift of God. Ecclesiastes 5:18-19. Labor not for the food which perishes, but for that food which endures to everlasting life, which the Son of Man shall give to you. John 6:27. I have coveted no man's silver, or gold, or apparel. Yes, you yourselves know, that my hands have supported myself and my companions. I have showed you all things, how that in laboring you ought to support the weak and to remember the words of the Lord Jesus, how he said, it is more blessed to give than to receive. Acts 20:33-35. Be not slothful in business, be fervent in spirit, serving the Lord. Romans 12:11. He who sows sparingly shall reap also sparingly, and he who sows bountifully shall reap also bountifully. 2 Corinthians 9:6. Let him that stole steal no more, but rather let him labor, working with his hands the thing which is good, so that he may be able to give to those in need. Ephesians 4:28. Serve with good will, as doing it for the Lord, not for men. Ephesians 6:6-7. Study to lead a quiet life and to do your own business and to work with your own hands, as we commanded you, so that you may walk honestly toward outsiders and that you may lack nothing. 1 Thessalonians 4:11-12. Now we command you, brethren, in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, that you withdraw yourselves from every brother who is idle and not living according to the tradition he received from us. For you know how you ought to follow us, for we were not idle while among you, nor did we eat any man's bread without paying, but we labored night and day so that we might not burden any of you. This was not because we have no right, but in order to make ourselves an example to you to follow. For even when we were with you, this we commanded you, if any will not work, neither should he eat. For we hear that there are some of you are living in idleness, not working at all, mere busybodies. Now such as these we command and exhort by our Lord Jesus Christ, so that with quietness they work and earn their own living. 2 Thessalonians 3:6-12. If any provide not for his own and specially for those of his own house, he has denied the faith and is worse than an infidel. 1 Timothy 5:8. Listen now, you rich men, weep and wail for the miseries that shall come upon you. Behold, the wages of the laborers who have harvested your fields, which you kept back by fraud, cry out, and the cries of the harvesters have entered into the ears of the Lord Almighty. You have lived in pleasure and luxury on the earth, you have fattened your hearts, as for a day of slaughter. James 5:1-5. There is no iniquity with the Lord our God, nor favoritism toward persons, nor taking of gifts. 2 Chronicles 19:7. The thoughts of the diligent lead only to prosperity, but those of the hasty lead only to want. Proverbs 21:5. See you a man diligent in his business? He shall stand before kings. Proverbs 22:29. He that tills his land shall have food in abundance, but he who follows fleeting fantasies shall have poverty. Proverbs 28:19. The sleep of a laboring man is sweet, whether he eat little or much, but the abundance of the rich will not allow him to sleep. Ecclesiastes 5:22. Whatever your hand finds to do, do it with your might. Ecclesiastes 9:10. Be not slothful in business, be fervent in spirit, serving the Lord. Romans 12:11. Whether you eat, or drink, or whatever you do, do all to the glory of God. 1 Corinthians 10:31. My beloved brethren, be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, since you know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord. 1 Corinthians 15:58. Serve with good will, as doing it for the Lord, not for men. Ephesians 6:6-7. Study to lead a quiet life and to do your own business and to work with your own hands, as we commanded you, so that you may walk honestly toward outsiders and that you may have lack of nothing. 1 Thessalonians 4:11-12. Listen, now, you who say, today or tomorrow we will go into such a city and continue there a year and buy and sell and make money. And yet you do not know what will happen tomorrow. For what is your life? It is like a vapor, that appears for a little time and then vanishes away. Rather, you ought to say, if the Lord wills, we shall live and do this or that. James 4:13-15. Better is a little with righteousness than great revenues gained dishonestly. Proverbs 16:8. The rich man's wealth is his strong city and like a high wall in his own conceit. Proverbs 18:11. Be of the same mind one toward another. Be not high-minded, but be willing to condescend to men of low estate. Be not wise in your own conceits. Romans 12:16. Behold, some that are last shall be first and some that are first shall be last. Luke 13:30. See you a man wise in his own conceit? There is more hope for a fool than for him. Proverbs 26:12. Let him that thinks he stands firm take heed lest he fall. 1 Corinthians 10:12. Wise men die, likewise the fool and the senseless perish and leave their wealth to others. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever and their dwelling places to all generations, they call their lands after their own names. Nevertheless man, despite his honors, abides not, he is like the beasts that perish. Such is the fate of the foolish and of their followers who approve their sayings. Like sheep they are laid in the grave, death shall feed on them, and the upright shall have dominion over them in the morning, and their beauty shall decay in the grave, far from their dwelling. But God will redeem my soul from the power of the grave, for he shall receive me. Be not afraid when one is made rich, when the glory of his house is increased, for when he dies he shall carry nothing with him, his glory shall not descend with him. Though while he lived he was counted as blessed and men will praise you when you prosper, he shall go to the generation of his fathers, they shall never see light. Man that is held in honor and lacking in understanding is like the beasts that perish. Psalms 49:10-20. He that is greedy of gain troubles his own house. Proverbs 15:27. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For you are like whitewashed tombs, which appear beautiful outwardly, but within are full of dead men's bones and of all kinds of filth. Even so, you outwardly appear righteous to men, but within you are full of hypocrisy and dishonor. Matthew 23:27. Better it is to be of humble spirit with the lowly than to divide the spoil with the proud. Proverbs 16:19. In many dreams and many words there is also meaninglessness. Ecclesiastes 5:7. The race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, nor bread to the wise, nor riches to men of understanding, nor favor to men of skill, but time and chance happen to them all. Ecclesiastes 9:11. Woe to those who add house to house, that lay field to field, till there are no places left, that they may live alone in the midst of the earth. In mine ears said the Lord Almighty, surely the many houses shall be desolate, even great and fair, without inhabitants. Isaiah 5:8-9. The devil took him up into an exceedingly high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them, and said to him, All these things will I give you, if you will fall down and worship me. Then said Jesus to him, Get you hence, Satan, for it is written, You shall worship the Lord your God, and him only shall you serve. Matthew 4:8-10. What is a man profited, if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? Matthew 16:26. Whoever will be great among you, let him be your servant. Matthew 20:26. Woe to you who are rich, for you have already received your consolation. Woe to you who are full, for you shall hunger. Woe to you that laugh now, for you shall mourn and weep. Luke 6:24-25. Jesus spoke a parable to them, saying, The ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentifully. And he thought within himself, saying, What shall I do, because I have no room to store my fruits? And he said, This will I do, I will pull down my barns and build larger, and there will I store all my fruits and my goods. And I will say to my soul, Soul, you have much goods laid up for many years, take your ease, eat, drink and be merry. But God said to him, You fool, this night your soul shall be required of you. Then whose shall those things be, which you have provided? So is he who lays up treasure for himself and is not rich toward God. Luke 12:16-21. Behold, some that are last shall be first, and some that are first shall be last. Luke 13:30. That which is highly esteemed among men is abomination in the sight of God. Luke 16:15. Jesus said to them, The kings of the pagans exercise lordship over them, and they that exercise authority upon them are called benefactors. But you shall not be so, but he who is greatest among you, let him be as the younger, and he who is chief, as he who does serve. For which is greater, he who sits at the table, or he who serves? Is it not he who sits at food? But I am among you as he who serves. Luke 22:25-27. Set your affection on things above, not on things on the earth. Colossians 3:2. If you have bitter envying and strife in your hearts, do not boast of it and do not deny the truth. This so-called wisdom descends not from heaven, but is earthly, sensual, devilish. For where envying and strife are, there is disorder and every evil work. But the wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, and easy to be entreated, full of mercy and good fruits, without partiality and without hypocrisy. James 3:14-17. All that is in the world, the cravings of the sinful nature and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life, is not of the Father, but is of the world. 1 John 2:16. New Age Business Philosophy. According to a New Age article, companies should create a light, lively, lightly colored setting with windows and inspirational slogans on the walls. Have flexible working schedules so workers can take time off when they need to. Have a meditation room with a masseuse or a chiropractor, some touchy-feely therapist who touches you somehow. Have a sleep room for power naps. Exercise room. TV room, reading room. Group sessions where the workers talk about their feelings on company time. Sabbaticals, up to 6 paid months off after 5 years of service to relax and get a new perspective. Management should work as a team with workers. Obligations of corporations. Directors of public corporations have a general standard they have to live by, otherwise they can be booted out by the corporate regulators. These general rules make good sense for all managers in all companies, including private ones. Some are as follows. Act honestly in the best interests of the corporation. Act in good faith. Your undivided loyalty is to the corporation, even over your own self-interest. Avoid conflict of interest. The interests of the company must come before you try to line your own pockets. Any situation which puts money in your pocket at the expense of the corporation is at the least morally reprehensible, at the most, a violation of criminal law that could land you in jail. Do not misuse position or knowledge. Directors must not make improper use of information acquired by virtue of their position to gain, directly or indirectly, something for themselves or their allies or to cause detriment to the corporation. Exercise care and diligence. People put into positions of responsibility in a business corporation must exercise the degree of care and prudence that a wise, cautious person would. Don't make hasty decisions or do reckless things with other people's money. Wage increases are one of the ways to reward and motivate workers, but the question is, can you afford an across-the-board increase? Nothing will arouse the wrath of one group of workers as giving another group or individual a raise and not them. Before you give a raise, make it universal for everybody, calculate how much it will cost and do it or don't, depending on if you can handle the increase in labor costs. If the business is doing fine, don't think twice about giving the workers raises and building a nice lunchroom for them. Invest in them. They're what makes your business a success. If you can't afford a wage increase, give them other breaks like Friday afternoons off once a month, good Christmas bonuses, a big barbecue or party, etc. Employees are very aware of how generous or stingy you are with them. Businesses are obligated to provide a vacation with pay to any employee who has worked there for 12 months or more. If the employee does not take the vacation with pay and they lose their job, they're entitled to receive at least 4% of their wages earned during that year. Departing employees are entitled to outstanding wages, vacation pay and payments the employee paid into the pension fund, if applicable. Severance pay, which is extra pay for getting rid of the employee, is a matter of personal preference on behalf of the company, but many companies feel it's good policy to give terminated workers some extra money because it lessens the incidence of lawsuits against them for wrongful termination and the like. A lot of companies get sued for wrongful dismissal. The employee thinks he or she was terminated for unreasonable grounds, and often, beyond suing the company, individual managers are sued as well for what is sometimes called bad faith. There is some case law supporting these types of lawsuits, but as of now, no specific statutes. With sexual harassment and harassment claims in general, a lot of workers are now suing the company as well as individual managers who they claim knew about the harassment but did nothing about it. As with wrongful termination lawsuits, there is some case law supporting it but no direct statutes. Be a good negotiator. The art of negotiation is all about compromise and seduction. There isn't a winner and a loser. Both sides win. Make the other guy feel like he's your buddy, like you feel his pain, then just talk straight with him, man to man. Don't try to bullshit. You can take either one of two ploys. 1. I'm the hotshot. Even if I don't have the leverage, I will still act like I do. On a sinking ship, I would rather go down with my head held high rather than bow down to anyone. 2. Flush your ego down the toilet. Sure, you don't let someone run all over you, but when two sides lock horns, don't expect to win without giving something up. Try to make it good for both sides. Even in these so-called enlightened times, I constantly see news stories that pit management against the union, and both sides are so headstrong that strikes go on for weeks and months longer than they should have. Then when an agreement is finally reached, it's often very close to the original proposal. The reason why it took so long was in the adversarial approach. Management said, here's our offer, take it or leave it, leaving these union people, who are just people, to act on immediate gut instinct, which is screw you. They have to save face and not take this deal the arrogant management shoved in their faces, so both sides suffer for a few months. Then they call in a third party who is simply used as the scapegoat for each side to swallow a bit of their egos and make a deal that could have been made on the first day if they were both enlightened enough to get past their egos enough to make a deal. But they played the little ego games that most low-level humans play because they weren't big enough to act small. And forget about their egos. You don't have to be right. You don't have to play power politics. You don't have to have a big ego. Just go for the deal. Give up those few points anyway up front, because you're gonna have to give something up anyway sooner or later. Set a friendly let's make a deal tone. Find the common ground between the two of you. Empathize. See it from his point of view. If it's two sides or more than two sides, ask each side to clearly spell out their interests/demands. It's equal parts the substance of the deal and the process itself. You have to wine and dine/seduce the other side that you're acting in the best interests for the both of you. Everything is negotiable, but rather than negotiate, which implies me against you, think of it as teamwork. Even you hold the power today, don't grind the other guy into powder, because there will come a day when he has the leverage and payback will be sweet. The more you let the other guy talk, the better he feels and the closer you are to a deal. Be aware of your body language and tone of voice. They communicate more than what you say. Once you are perceived as a phony, slippery character, it's probably all over. You need trust. Don't be above taking your client/boss out to lunch, supper, bar, disco, strip joint, etc. Food, booze, and naked women dancing on a stage have the power to seal a lot of deals. Most people are up for win-win cooperative negotiations. Some are aggressive self-centered bastards who alienate the other side, and some hate it so much they give up everything to get it done and get out of there. The critical element is power. Analyze it to see who stands to lose more if the deal isn't made. If you have the power, don't abuse it, because people could do drastic things to try to spite you to get it back. So present a fair offer and remind them once or twice you're the guy in the better position, so they should consider it. People often bluff to pull out and even walk away. Then 2 days later, when you haven't called to accept their offer, they call you and make a deal. Sometimes this even goes for months when one side walks out, but they eventually cave and come back because you're the one with the power. There was one case where an American company didn't want to help Canada build an electric power plant which they would buy electricity from, so they said no, thinking the Canadians would build it anyway, but they didn't, and several months later, the Americans gave them the upfront money to build it. If you want to negotiate anything, have your plan all set up beforehand, know who to contact specifically, set up a meeting and show them your stuff. Have your compromises figured out too. Pick your top priorities and stick with them. Don't be rigid. Have several possible deals in mind. Don't bluff. Always get the other guy to make the first offer so you know where he's at, then reject it no matter what. Trade off the stuff you don't care about much in favor of your top priority. If the other guy is pressing you, tell him you have to make an important phone call. The break will cool him off. When someone says no, persistence can often wear him down. You have to catch him at the right time. Everything happens in the last minute. Knowledge is power. The more you know about the situation, the better off you will be. Silence is golden at times. Keep your mouth shut if you have nothing to say. If you're buying something, tell the guy that his competition is offering a pretty good deal. Sometimes say something like, "You can do better than that," or "What's your rock bottom price," or "What's the best you can do?" At the very end, always ask for his bottom line, best deal. Once the deal is made, Go over it point by point to get that meeting of the minds. Confidence is good, arrogance is bad. If you're valuable, let it show. If you believe in yourself, take the risks to get where you want. This might mean embarrassing yourself to contact someone you want to see your stuff, but that's part of the game. They might like your spunk. These days, there are several options. Mediation is where two sides come together with a third party who tries to get them to both agree to a deal, while arbitration is where a third party comes in, listens to both sides, then hammers out the deal for them and they have to go with it, binding arbitration as it's called. There's also a mediation-arbitration hybrid. If you've got a winning concept, don't be afraid to let your true colors show to sell it. Timing is everything. Get the guy when he's not busy or feeling tired, like right after lunch. Being tough doesn't mean being dishonest. You can be firm without being a liar. Know who's on the other side of the table. Study this guy beforehand to plan your strategy. No matter what happens, don't burn bridges. Live to fight another day. If you're doing fine as is and you don't have to negotiate, sometimes it's better to hold em, but sometimes if you give people the illusion that you care by listening to them and giving them a bone, it scores you more points in the loyalty department rather than if you had just callously tossed them off. If you disregard employee requests, it will always come back to haunt you in the form of worker revenge through sabotage and minor pilfering. If you're dealing with a guy you can't stand or that you think is an asshole, tell them straight up the guy is a jerk. You want to deal with someone else, like his 2IC. If you will be negotiating with a particular individual, look him on the web. Dig up what you can to learn about him. Be straight. Forget all the psychobabble they taught you in bullshit psychobabble business success school. Just be straight. The more you listen, the better you look. After the deal, follow through with a thank you card and gift. In a nutshell. Be patient. Talk less, listen more. Be a friend rather than argue. Go at a leisurely pace. Let the other guy get it all out of his system. There are books on negotiation at hashtag 658.405 or HD 58.6 at the library. bradmccrae.com. callumcoburn.co.uk, Negotiation Skills Training and Sales Coaching. degreex.com, get an executive certificate in negotiation online. harvard.edu/vines/program_on_negotiation. NotreDameOnline.com, online certificate in negotiation. sabonline.com, learn effective negotiation skills. scottwarkusa.com, learn effective negotiation skills. Chapter 4. Be a good boss. Good boss 1. Judge people on merit, not age, experience, or diplomas. Respect your employees 100%. Develop a team attitude. Authority speaks the loudest when it speaks the least. Happy workers are productive workers. Make them feel like they count, challenge them, then reward them, even if just with praise. The number one thing about being a good boss is to have the ability to make people aspire to reach their true, God-given potential. The golden rule is to walk around, talk and look things over all the time. Be a good boss but not a busybody. Give people space to do their jobs and don't come on too strong about asking about their personal lives. Be honest with your workers about what is going on in the company. Employees want a piece of the action or ownership. Offer stock options, upward career mobility or something like that. When hiring, be quick. Don't leave somebody waiting before you hire them. Having fun in a friendly environment results in high productivity. Having fun can energize your workers to become more productive. Listen to good ideas and act on some of them. Be loyal to your workers. Be available to talk to workers who want to talk to you. Some people want some things left private, so don't impose too much just because you're the boss at work. As the leader, you're the moral and authoritative authority, which means there's an invisible space between you and your workers. Your true authority is directly proportional to how much real responsibility you're willing to take. You can't horse around with them or slack off at all. You must demonstrate a solemn dedication to the job all the time. You can't be a faker or a slacker. You must have a strong knowledge and understanding of the business, including technology, inner politics, general insight into life, people skills, money matters, and have a healthy dose of experience to boot. Don't be afraid to be a trailblazer, groundbreaker, and all-around original. That's what makes a good leader. To be a good manager over and above a good leader, you must strive to increase business effectiveness systematically. You have to be a boring guy and deal with the details, not just blindly go with the vision all the time. Visions are useless if you don't have the sense to keep a positive cash flow. Formal education doesn't play much of a role in a boss's success. It's all about current, relevant education to your narrow niche in the marketplace and an elusive thing called instinct and insight. The greatest teacher is always real-life experience. Don't let your ego and or need for power get in the way of the bottom line, the profit margin. And don't forget charm, aka charisma. Another thing I've noticed is that bosses who can't write good copy with proper punctuation and grammar expose their true ignorant selves to their employees. There's nothing more ridiculous than some boss who comes on with a real rousing speech, then when you read his correspondence, you see that he makes all kinds of simple mistakes and his words don't really flow smoothly. In the white-collar professions, trust me, writing ability is very important, not just the flow of words but the simple stuff like spelling, commas, semicolons, etc. It's alright to delegate the leadership for some projects. You can't do it all by yourself. A good leader takes a stand and is firm in his beliefs. Don't be a nitpicky, in-your-face leader. Give people space to do their own things. If there are problems with the company, don't keep it to yourself, tell your workers about it. They will understand and may be able to help. Analyze your performance objectively. Contrary to myth, authoritarian bosses are not good except in emergency situations that need one good leader to make quick decisions, such as in the military, police, or firefighting. In the world of business, your best bet is to make the workplace a happy place where people like to work and feel that they can talk to you freely about any problem or good ideas they might have. Strive for a middle ground between being the tough guy boss and a good guy. Be real with them. Don't can't yes just because you don't want to be perceived as a mean it. The bottom line is profit. They know it, you know it, they know they're expendable if they don't produce to standard, and they know that if you're incompetent, the whole operation could blow, so it's your job to make sure they do the job and don't take it lightly. The trend is teamwork with a high visibility, accessible boss, but if an employee is low-key, don't push him to participate. If you put on an act, sooner or later, the real you will show through. You can't fake it for long. Just be yourself all the time. Never be wishy-washy about anything. If someone has an unresolved issue, think it over, make a straight decision, then act on it, no ifs and buts. If someone asks you a question, it's alright to take time to think about it before you answer. If you have to say no to something, say it without getting sappy or guilty. It's all about business. Give an explanation if you feel so inclined. Try to keep everything as simple as possible in all work matters, particularly with the organizational setup and chain of command. There should be no chain of command. Everybody should be accessible all the time. The golden rule to motivating employees is to give them challenging work with real responsibility attached to it, so that they can get some self-respect and pride out of it. Many jobs are just plain out dull. You can't make them more challenging, but you can give the worker more responsibility so that he feels like he's really doing something important that someone somewhere is counting on. Try to use whatever qualities your workers have. You should encourage new ideas by either keeping a feedback box outside of your office for suggestions or putting signs up that say something like, "We respect your opinion, tell us your ideas." Tell them they don't have to sign their names to their suggestions. Always be accessible to anybody that might want to talk to you. Talk to your workers face to face, not on the phone. Meet them on the work floor, not in your intimidating office. Think of yourself as an educator and try to teach them things and offer resource materials for them to learn on their own. Try to develop a common values interdependent teamwork connection with them. Don't believe any gossip you hear about so-called negative employees. Talk to them yourself and make your own decision. Employees have no loyalty to you. If they're having a bad day and you come along, they will take it out on you in their minds. Don't assume your relationship with any employee is fine just because you wrapped last month. You have to always check in with them periodically to find out where their headspace is at. If you have super sensitive employees, deal with them or just tell them it's nothing personal, just business. Don't order your workers to do as you say and not as you do. Lead by example. You're always on display, they're all watching you. Get out there and be with your workers. Don't hide. Reward good performances with praise and incentives, criticize sloppy work but don't get personal with it. If you're new, go around personally, shake every worker's hand, look them in the eye and introduce yourself like a man or woman in business. In the case of new employees, introduce yourself, take them around for a guided tour, introduce them to everybody and fill them in with the details of the job. Be specific about what you expect from your workers. Keep regular contact with everybody. Be accessible. Always remember that just because you're the boss, that doesn't make you a superior being to your workers. They will accept your authority and respect you if you treat them right, but if you're out of line just a little bit, like displaying anger, trying to suck every ounce of work out of them, etc., they will start talking about you behind your back and ultimately take it out on you in a concept called workplace revenge/workplace sabotage. I read a book about this which talked about the things people do to get back at their bosses. The most basic ones are stealing minor things like pens, stationery, etc. and slacking off during work, but some employees are much more creative. One guy erased everything from the mainframe computer, another guy put sugar in the gas tanks of every truck of a delivery service, someone else messed up the accounting system, someone created a fake supplier account and pocketed the money himself, and the list goes on. Always be a hands-on boss who knows everything that's going on. Don't trust anyone, not even so-called Christians. Howard Hughes surrounded himself with Mormons. Anyone can be corrupted, especially when there's lots of cash around. Cash can tempt anyone. It's all about workplace chemistry. You want to treat your workers well because you want stability for the long term. It's always better to keep employees for a long time rather than go through them like nothing. Just show them that you're a good guy there to help them. Workers are usually unhappy because of too much work, no say in anything, not enough pay and praise, no sense of teamwork or community. Boss plays favorites. Everything geared for profit. There's a fine line between a pleasant workspace that's productive and a workplace where the workers come to see the boss as soft and try to take advantage as much as they can. Be a good guy but be firm with slackers. Make it perfectly clear that you don't mind if they listen to the radio, go to the bathroom when they want, take a few extra minutes for lunch, switch work days between themselves or whatever, but the bottom line is that the work must get done. That's the golden rule. In a typical 8-hour shift in any job, I'm willing to bet that most workers could get the job done in 4 to 5 hours, but they learn to stretch it out so that the boss doesn't pile more on. As a boss, don't try to suck blood out of a stone, but at the same time, look for alternatives to the clock, like if they work hard, give them the afternoon off on Friday or let them go home early if they do all the work with quality and clean up. The psyche of workers is strange, different in every situation. The best deal is to get your workers working as a team, then give them little breaks when they work hard and get the job done well. Time off, an extra pay bonus, taking them all out to lunch, buying them all little gifts, etc. solidifies them and make them feel like they're part of a team. Follow your gut instincts about your workers, the mood on the job, the tension in the room, etc. Bad apples spoil the bunch. If you've got one, get rid of him. Always watch out for theft. It can't be tolerated, because if you go soft on him, you will just be giving them carte blanche to keep doing it. Workers don't like to be under video surveillance while they work. Workers like simple things like windows in factories, clean bathrooms, and a little yard out back where they can sit around outside during their breaks. Educate your workers about the organization. Try to get them to share your vision. Tell them what your vision is. If the company is public, give them stocks or stock options. If not, reward them by promoting them, giving them more responsibility, more money, etc. Never lose sight of the fact that you're in business for profit. You're not running a charity and won't tolerate slackers. Your workers could care less about the organization itself, but they do care about the people they work with. It might take a while, but keep firing people until you get the right team in place. Your workers will hate you sometimes. Just ride the storm out. Don't criticize people, criticize a wrongly done job or bad behavior only. Don't start hating some employees and playing favorites. Treat everyone equally and objectively with a serious sense of respect. When you have meetings, don't go in casually. Be ready with what you have to say it seriously, open the floor for questions and feedback, make your recommendations, then get the hell out of there. Think of it as a pep talk with purpose. Nobody likes meetings, so treat them as all business. Don't waste time and don't let them run too long, particularly with aimless, trivial matters. Keep to the main topic. You can handle the trivial stuff individually with only the workers directly involved. Think fast, focused, open feedback, and then direct decisions that tell the people exactly where you're going, nothing wishy-washy to it at all. Follow up your meetings with action to see that the decisions are actively put into practice. Don't try to fix something that isn't broke. If you want to make some major changes, don't be drastic about it. Ease into them. As a boss, always analyze yourself and try to improve. If you screwed up with an employee or were insensitively rude, own up to it and apologize. If you're younger than some of your subordinates, just treat them as you would treat anybody, but respect their experience and ask them for advice. If your workers hate each other and there's other trouble there, try to get at the root of it and solve it. Shuffle workers around with more compatible people if need be. Create an employee referral program. Ask current employees to recommend possible new employees, but putting their resumes in your inbox with a note saying they recommend this person. Put a job icon on your company website outlining jobs. Reward failures of projects if the people worked hard on the project. A lot of failures are due to the timing of the market and the zeitgeist. Make the work culture fun. Do not allow negative thoughts to permeate the work environment. Connect people to the company goals. Share resources between employees. Discourage judgmental thinking and opinions. Focus on work content. Establish relationships with your employees. Treat everyone equally, never allowing favoritism or cliques to develop. Do not allow people to divide the culture with bias in favor of longer-term employees. Convince the longest-term employees to show appreciation toward the newer employees for believing in the company cause. Encourage all employees to think of one another like colleagues of equal value in different ways. Communicate high-level business plans regularly. Make decisions. Do not stall on big ideas for very long. Allow feedback in your inbox. 2 heads are better than 1 on projects. Offer continuous learning opportunities which lead to career advancement. Offer flexible schedules such as 4 10-hour days. People can also work from home part-time as long as they can be effective working remotely. Recognize people for their extra effort. Give them days off and extra money. Keep workers engaged and challenged. Listen to how employees are doing. You want them to feel good in their jobs and share a sense of accomplishment with company success. Let people feel as comfortable as they need to be with their own motivation. A good manager helps to provide a strong foundation. Give new workers a chance to adjust to the workplace. Be a mentor. Tell them what is expected of them. Help with administration, filling out forms, parking, etc. Introduce the new hire to others. Touch base regularly. Employee and employer relationships need continuous attention and care. Talk to them. Connect with them. Care about them as human beings. Act sincere. Pay people extra if they're worth it. Ask for new ideas. Emphasize people relationships within the company. Treat all employees as customers. Give good employees what they want. Give workers a sense of community and belonging, a purpose, pride in the organization and a feeling of control over their career. Good boss too. A people's boss is personable, leads by example and doesn't ask anyone to do anything he either hasn't done or isn't willing to do. He's actually not much of a boss at all in the sense that if it isn't broken, don't fix it. If the employees are doing their jobs, he doesn't hover over them, constantly checking them out, which breeds distrust. He leaves them be until the situation demands that he step in. It's not about all that cheap human resource psychology crap you hear all the time about strategies to motivate employees or supercharge the workplace. In fact, workers resent it when they see you trying those cheap one-liner ploys on them. Don't use rah-rah gimmicks. Be solid. Nevertheless, the so-called art of motivating employees is big business in the realm of business education and human resources, so I will give you a bunch of one-liners I gleaned from several books on the subject. Good bosses are all about helping your workers get ahead at work and achieve their personal life goals. You're trying to help them upgrade themselves education-wise and get promoted to higher positions so that you can benefit from their abilities. It's a mutually beneficial thing. Both sides look in the same direction, to the betterment of the company. When you make your workers happy, they like you and become more productive, so everybody wins. The more motivated, upbeat and inspired you are, the more your employees will absorb some of this through osmosis. The more honorable and dignified you are as a human being, the more respect you will get. Your word and reputation is all you have. Culture it and live by it or die by not following it. All you have is your honesty. If you compromise it, you have nothing in the eyes of your workers. Be a common man or woman. Don't even try to act uppity. This is the one thing the workers are always checking you out on: are you being real or putting on airs? The more clear your vision is for the company, preferably written down somewhere, on the wall in poster form and in the company manual, the more the workers will know exactly what you want and work towards that end. It's generally not about the boss versus the workers, even though that's the conventional wisdom. Workers want bosses to win as a successful company because it means they will win too in pay and job security. They know they're on the same team. Encourage teamwork, a mutual commitment to the company and their work for the good of all of you together. Be democratic about it. Lead by example. Your goal is to get employees to be the best they can be, to unleash their potential for the good of the company. Sharing information with everybody is one of the most basic ways to help empower everybody within the company, even the customers. Don't be a preachy, soppy, phony motivator like some guy reading lines out of a self-help textbook. Be more natural and real, more informal as opposed to formal. Leading is an oxymoron because the best leaders don't often lead, they simply stand back and let the team operate, only intervening when and as required, as in cases of crises or a need for encouragement. Walk your talk. Don't be a bullshitter. Don't preach. Have conversations. Help people as a mentor would. Don't be too complex in anything. Stick with the basics. It's always about simple, straight, direct communication between a boss and his workers. Be accessible. Keep an open door policy. Can the memo route. Encourage people to walk up to you and talk to you anywhere, anytime. It helps if you walk around making small talk from time to time, asking them how it's going and if there's anything you can do to improve the situation. Be the same way with customers. Listen to them. Don't be lackadaisical when hiring people. Hire good ones up front. Take your workers out to lunch sometimes, either one at a time or in a group. Workers like consistent, Fair bosses, not moody bosses who have favorite people and people they pick on. Say what you mean and stick to it. People hate both a boss who doesn't say much of anything and keeps them guessing as to what's expected, and the boss who gives all kinds of pep talks but doesn't seem to remember or care an hour later. Give people enough freedom to open up and contribute their ideas. When you give most workers responsibility, they will rise to the occasion. Some won't though. They're not necessarily bad workers, just people who would rather be grunts doing a low-level job than to be a supervisor. To create a team, you have to give them enough freedom to work as a team and make their own decisions. Everybody has an ego. Make people feel important and special. Give compliments and rewards where due. People generally rise to the competence level you expect from them. If they don't, get rid of them. Earn their trust, then put your trust in them by giving them bigger jobs and more responsibility. In a conflict, don't automatically accept the version from the higher status person. Treat both sides equally. Rather than focus on individual performance, try to focus on team performance. Don't listen to gossip. Accept only first-hand info. Keep an open mind focused on education. Encourage the pursuit of knowledge for employees by offering incentive plans such as paying a certain percentage of tuition. When contemplating big decisions, consult with your employees about it. Be patient. Let little things slide. Hide your anger. Try to stay calm. Mind your health. Take care of yourself. Be loyal to your workers. Fight for them if the situation demands it. Remember, the workers are human beings with personal lives. They're not just expendable commodities. When you screw up, admit to it and apologize. Everybody goes through times. They're looking at you to see how you handle it. If you can be stable and keep an even keel throughout, the crisis will pass quicker. Minimize bureaucracy. Don't act distrustful of their expense accounts. If they can't be responsible and trusted for that, they're no good, and you're no good for being that trivial about it. Everybody needs some encouragement, but don't be phony about it. Make personable small talk with employees. Be crystal clear about what you want from employees. Get rid of the bad seeds. If you have a problem, deal with it rather than sweep it under the rug. Get periodic independent audits. Delegate work to trusted people. Offer your people opportunities to get more education, higher position, and better pay. Personally stay on top of the nuts and bolts of the business. Even though it's fine to reward top performers with bonuses, it's better to reward a whole team for brilliant work. Individual bonuses often create animosity and jealousy. Learn from what your customers and workers tell you. Ask for their feedback. Don't hide in your office. Be out there in the work and business area. Be kind, humane and friendly. Let everybody, bosses, workers, and customers, know what's going on in the business. When there's a crisis, take charge of the situation like a leader would. Be polite. Give a little bit sometimes. With good workers you don't like, since you can't legally fire them, try to be amiable with them. If the company is making money, be generous to good workers. Throw a few good parties and social events here and there to show you're a cool guy. You don't have to be extravagant. Just supply some booze and food. Show them how dedicated you are by being a workaholic with pride in your company. Don't be a dictator. Be a negotiator and compromiser. When you criticize the wrong behavior, not the individual. Try hashtag 658.314 at the library for books about being a good boss and motivating people. Rate your boss. eboswatch.com. Chapter 5. A Work Website Guide. Good Worker Websites. Managesmarter.com. ehow.com, How to Succeed in Your New Executive Job. discoverwinningways.com/succeeding-job. blog.coworking.info. livesofworksmart.net. smart-worker.co.uk. smart-worker.com. smartworker.net. smartworkethics.com, Smart Work Ethics Certified. Workplace skills websites. collegegrad.com/intv, interviewing skills. collegegrad.com/jobsearch/2-0.html, real-world experience. conferenceboard.ca/topics/education/learning-tools/isp.aspx, innovation skills profile. eff.cls.utk.edu, equipped for the future. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/soft_skills, soft skills overview, Wikipedia. hrsdc.gc.ca/eng/workplaces skills/essential_skills/general/home.html, essential skills, what are they? hrsdc.gc.ca/eng/workplaces skills/publications/index.html, workplace skills publications. newwaystowork.org. Soft skills websites. toolkit.com. udel.edu/csc/jobskills.html, developing job skills. work-based-learning.org. workfutures.bc.ca/wfs/viewstaticpageaction.do ? File name =employability_skills_eng, skills for today's workplace. west.org/online_pub/workforce/workforce.htm, skills for tomorrow's workforce. workreadiness.com. Emotional intelligence websites. Emotional intelligence is one of them psychobabble terms that some psychobabbleist, Daniel Goleman, created in order to convince people they were deficient in emotional empathy so he could create a mini-industry by selling books, tests, and workshops on it. He makes the fallacious assumption that the human personality can be dissected into different, discrete parts, one of which is emotional intelligence, but it's all a crock of crap because we're holistic beings. Everything we think and do is tied into our emotions. We can't separate them from the rest of ourselves. giotman.com, Emotional Intelligence. unh.edu/emotional_intelligence. emotionaliq.com. Happy at Work websites. thebalance.com. easyarticles.com, Staying Happy at Work. daveramsey.com/etc/happy_work_5969.html. workhappynow.com. happy-at-work.co.uk. happinesshabitsatwork.com. lifelearningtoday.com. positivesharing.com/category/happy-at-work. reddit.com/r/happy-at-work. Teamwork at Work websites. money.how-stuff-works.com/business/starting-a-job/how-to-improve-teamwork-in-workplace.htm. smallbusiness.cron.com. thebalance.com. buzzle.com/articles/teamwork-in-the-workplace.html. teamworkonline.com. Work attitude websites. It all comes down to one thing, the attitude with which you choose to travel. If you'd like to see what's out there in the realm of conventional self-help, go to number 155 to number 158 and number 291 at the library. Christian self-help books are at number 248 or BR 1725 and BV 4598 at the library. Go to hashtag 640.43 or BF 637 for books about self-management and time management. achievementradio.com. achieverdio.com. achievers.com. allinspiration.com. audiomotivation.com. creatingpower.com. creativepowerofthought.com. dailystrength.org. dailytidings.com. dalecarnegie.com. ehow.com, how to help yourself. easyarticles.com, attitude in the workplace, how your work attitude can define you. franklincovey.com. happy-people.co.uk, learn how to create a great place to work. scienceofmind.com, scienceofsuccess.com, secretstotheirsuccess.com, selfgrowth.com, selfhelpmagazine.com, selfknowledge.com, self-mastery.net, self-mastery.org, totalselfmastery.com, totalsuccess.com, trulypositivechange.com, whoopaido.com/business_quote/hard-work.htm, clement.com, teamwork poster brochures, motivational posters, Dale Carnegie training, dalecarnegie.com, frontier motivational posters, frontierconnect.com, G. Neal, tools to manage and motivate people, gneal.com, humankinetics.com, Optimist magazine, optimist.org, Priorities magazine, for personal and professional success, franklincovey.com, toolsforexploration.com, work ethics websites. Books about business integrity are at hashtag 658.31-40 and HD 57.7 at the library. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/business_ethics, business ethics overview. ethics.iit.edu/code/co.html, codes of ethics in professions. coe.uga.edu/workethic/on_linelesson.htm, work ethics lesson plans. globalethics.org, onlineethics.org, businessethicsresources.com, coe.uga.edu/workethic, work ethics site. business-humanrights.org, bsr.org, business for social responsibility. business.com/directory/management/business_ethics, businessethics.com, business-ethics.com, businessethics.org, businessphilosophy.com, ethicalcorp.com, ethicalgge.com, ethics.ca, Ethics International, based in Victoria, British Columbia, Canada, is a business with a mission to promote fair practice. Religion Spirituality Workplace websites at dmoz-odp.org/society/work/workplace_spirituality. pliant.org/personal/tom_erickson/workandspirit.html, essay, Work and Spirit, an essay by Thomas Erickson. itstime.com/rainbow.htm, 7 Principles of Spirituality in the Workplace, outline of practical spirituality. clarityfacilitation.com/papers/intro.htm, Spirit in Conflict, through 4 interviews, explores how people who work with conflict find and identify a spiritual foundation for their work. workmatters.org, Work Matters, regional ministry that teaches workers how to integrate their faith into their jobs. northernway.org/workplace.html, Workplace Spirituality, Business Week magazine article focusing on the growing presence of spirituality in corporate America. Christian workplace websites at dmoz-odp.org/society/work/workplace_spirituality/Christian. 247faith.com, seeks to enable people to express their faith at work. Offers overview, workplace as mission field, church leaders support, place in the world, medical evangelism, and video clip. businessalpha.org.au Australian course about understanding the meaning of life run in the business or workplace setting. Overview, questions, content, and how to register. faithandworkproject.org UK based and aims to research and to promote practical approaches to the application of Christian ethics within business and professional life. Overview, thoughts, papers, and activities. faithatwork.org.nz training and resources related to career, life planning, the theology of work, everyday spirituality, ethics for the marketplace and mission of laity from a Christian perspective. hillcities.org organization seeking to provide spirituality in the workplace. Includes overview, methods of working, brochure, and an FAQ. Marketplaceleaders.org, seeking to help men and women fulfill God's call on their lives by understanding the role faith plays in their workplace calling. Mentors, Toolbox, Bible study, workshops, and articles. Theologyofwork.org, international project to research, write, and promote a comprehensive understanding of what the Bible teaches about vocation. Offers history, events, and FAQ. Worklife.org helps pastors and churches train workers on workplace spirituality.